What's going on, guys? Welcome to another video. In this video, what I want to talk about is my journey from security guard to digital marketer. So a few years ago, before I became a digital marketer, I was a security guard, and boy, were those times hard. I was working in New York, specifically in Long Island. I worked for a company called Maximum Security, and I also worked for another company called Stratus. I actually worked three companies: Stratus, Maximum Security, and I forgot the name of the other one, but it was like a smaller, security company. And from each of these jobs, I was making around 950 an hour, and it was terrible because I had to work a whole bunch of different shifts, and I was just working a lot, and I was constantly tired. Now, one thing I will say is that it's an easy job if you're a college student and you have a lot of homework that you need to do. You can definitely use your time, as a security guard to get your homework done. I will say that. But for me, I wasn't in school, and I was just working. So every single time when I would have free time, I would feel extremely exhausted and drained from working so many hours. And don't get me wrong, it's not that it's a hard job, because like I said, there's a lot of free time that you get and stuff like that. It's not that it's necessarily hard. It's just more so that once you've done it for so many years, like I did it for I think 5 years. Once you've done it for 5 years, you have watched every single, video on YouTube that you can imagine that would keep you entertained. You have watched every single Netflix show. You have consumed all the content that you can consume. Then you have also played all the video games that you can play. You realize over time you get dumber from doing that. At least that's what I realized for myself. And then on top of that, you run out of people to talk to, right? Like, your mom doesn't want to talk to you all the time just because you're bored at work. Your friends don't want to talk to you all the time just because you're bored at work. They have things that they're actually doing. And so this was the dilemma that I had when I was working as a security guard. And that's when I decided to learn a new skill, because I was tired of working for minimum wage, barely getting paid anything, struggling to make ends meet, couldn't afford a place to live because of where I was located, right? Like, New York is extremely expensive. I mean, I'm sure I don't have to convince anybody of that. Everybody knows that. And yeah, it was just very difficult, it was extremely difficult. And I'm about to do something pretty ghetto. I think my camera's not in focus, so let me just double check that. Oh, I think it's fine. Okay. So, like, the pros of being a security guard is that you have a lot of freedom. Not freedom, sorry. You have a lot of time at work where you're just sitting at a desk and you're not doing anything. That means that you have time to study and learn a new skill. The pros of being a security guard is that if you work in residential communities, if they're nice residential communities, you will get paid more than what your, hourly wage is, because people will give you during the holidays, they'll give you money and stuff like that. So I made a lot of money in tips during the holidays. But you're not supposed to, technically, you're not supposed to take those tips from the clients. However, I did because I needed money and my job wasn't paying me enough money. And by the way, these security companies make a lot of money off of you. They might be billing the client at $300 an hour and paying you $950 an hour, just so you know, right? Or they might be billing at $70 an hour and then paying you $9 an hour. So yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, you can make money in that way, and that's the pros. I mean, you get paid time and a half during, like, if you decide to work on the holidays. But the cons are, if you take off, first of all, the biggest con is that when you're working your shift, if the person who's supposed to relieve you of your shift decides that they don't want to show up for whatever reason, then you are likely going to be stuck at that post. And technically, the supervisor is supposed to come and relieve you and let you go home, but they tend to not do that. They would just ask you, like, hey, can you work this? And even if you say no, then they'll pretend like they're looking for someone else to work the shift. In the reality of the situation, they're not, right? And because they're not looking for someone else to work the shift, especially if it's night shift, because that's hard to find people at night. But if they're not looking for someone to work the shift, then you're going to be stuck there, right? And you're going to think that like they're looking, but then by the time flies, you'll be halfway into the shift, and then it's just like, well, I might as well finish it because I already stayed for 4 hours. So that's a huge con. I used to hate that when that would happen. So there's that. So, I got tired of the security industry. I felt like I wasn't getting paid no money. It's very hard to get paid money. You got to go get these certificates in New York as well. Like, I mean, I live in PA now, and I noticed that the process of becoming a security guard is different in Pennsylvania. But when I was in New York, it was just extremely annoying to deal with. And I switched into digital marketing. And digital marketing has made a huge difference in my life. I've been able to, get a really nice apartment. I've been able to travel. I've been able to get my dream car. I drive an IS 350, 2022, bought it brand new. And, look, I've documented my whole journey on YouTube. You can literally watch my videos or just go to my Instagram and see, the stuff that I post in my stories on a day-to-day basis. And you'll see that I'm telling you the truth. Like, it has literally completely turned around my life. And I would suggest anyone who's in security to get into this because it's not hard as long as you know what to study and because you have the time, right? You know what to study and then you figure out how to, break into it and how to transition into it. So that being said, look, if you want to learn how to do this, join the Discord group. I have one. It's free to join. So I will leave a link below in this description of this video. I mean, not in the description, pinned in the comments, where you can join, okay? And if you have questions, you can ask. And there's people in there that's on the same journey as you. And there's people that's in there that already have completed this journey. So you can talk to people who already have the job, who already been through what you're going through and get advice. And obviously you can talk to me as well. So, that's it for this video. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.